Hello Nitro fans, Racing 393. Today's video, it's a quick intro. We're going to do, we're going to take my RC10GT out. It's very similar to the picture you see there, although that isn't my one. I've had it a while. It's actually got a Traxxas 3.3 motor in it, and I had used it without a body shell on last year, but the back then the fuel tank was leaking. So you're going to see it now. I've got a different body shell on it, but as you'll probably find out, the fuel tank still leaks. Enjoy the video. Right, RC10 GT. Let's try this out. Let's turn it on. So I've got a trophy truck on it, body shell. Goes all right. I think the tick over's a bit too quick. Got 3.3 in it. What do you think? Sounds really good, goes well. Might see and sort that tick over out actually. still revving too high. Don't know if it's too weak now or what. I think that'll do for now. Fuck me, it's hot. Well, whew. That was fun. That was really good fun. It's almost out of what it is, out of fuel. It's leaking. I'll give it a wipe down. 3.3 goes like stink, but leaks. Yeah, I like that. What do you reckon? Covered in dust now, so it doesn't take a bit of a clean up, but there you go. So when I got it home, it was quite mucky. I've done a bit already. So I just used normal standard like nitro cleaner. It's quite good stuff actually, because when you spray it on, it cleans it all. Okay. When it dries, it sort of goes off. It doesn't leave any residue. And then I just use a normal sort of old paintbrush to paint. Not to paint, idiot. To brush off the excess dust, bits and pieces. It still probably needs a bit of a strip down, but considering what it was like, it's fairly clean. Maybe you can't quite get into all the nooks and crannies, and quite obviously I do need to find out why it leaks. It might be something really obvious. I think one of the most obvious things is to change the fuel tank to eliminate that one. I sort of blew into it and it held pressure, but there's nothing to say that you know, I might have been incorrect by doing that. So yeah, so that's me cleaning it. We'll get on to the
okay, so we took this
outro.
out, as you've seen. It went really well. I was surprised how well it went actually, and it wasn't tuned correctly. I'm going to take the body shell off just to show you a bit of a close up. So I will move the camera at some point. Don't usually take my RC cars on dust either, or anything where it's going to get mucky. I just thought, well, why not? Just for a change. So when we got back, I had to clean it all down because it's still dusty now, as you can probably see. But the fuel tank was spurting more bloody fuel out than what was going through the engine, I expect. It did exactly that on the last time I used it. I didn't film that one, but last time I used it, which was last summer, yeah, I mean, I didn't know it leaked at the time, so I filled the tank up, and then after about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, it'll run out. So I investigated it, but didn't really get to the bottom of it. I just assumed, I'll show you, but at the back of the tank there is like a little T-piece. I thought that might be leaking, so I purchased an official team associated one, put it in. Well, clearly that didn't fix it, so we're back to square one again, I'm afraid. But I'll show you a close-up. I'll grab the camera, and we'll go over some bits and pieces about my findings and what I do next. So let me just let me bring the camera over so you can see what I'm talking about. So here it is. So this is the Traxxas 3.3 that I had in it. Or got in it, not had. It's still there. It has been wiped down and cleaned. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. There's a T-piece at the back there. On a previous video, I think I've got a video with that, me installing that. I don't know if it is that. This is the problem is, why would it leak? I've pressure tested this tank, as in blew into it in a very crude way, and it held pressure. I'll have to try it again, but I think maybe, I mean, I have to say that is sealing. I mean, that's the sort of the lid. That's like not sealed. You just push it down a little bit, and that will seal. No seal impressions in this video, but there is a lot of residue around here. It's still on like the back part. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not sure whether, I can't really see the camera, but there. So, and I also believe, I don't know if this is the original tank. I think I've got another one. So that could be an option, changing the fuel tank. But overall, this was really fast. It's kind of, these RC10GTs are kind of, they're old school rear-wheel drive buggies and very difficult to control. But they've got so much steering acumen. So the kingpins, you can probably see what I'm talking about here. But the kingpins sort of lay back. So it has it's like a shopping trolley basically. So what I mean by that is it straightens itself out a lot, which is why it can be driven quite surprisingly well on loose conditions. Bear in mind, it is only rear-wheel drive, and these are sort of pinned tyres, and they're the original RC10 GT ribbed front tyres. Yeah, it really well. I mean, I think the tick over was super high, and I had messed around with the linkage. I'm going to have to take that carburetor apart and have a look at it, and maybe reset it. But it is an original 3.3. I used to think these are really rare, but upon investigation, they're still about. They're fairly easy to find if you want to get one. But I suppose it's trying to find one second hand that's not been ragged. This one unfortunately hasn't been. But yeah, clearly sorting that fuel out is my main goal for this, well, for the next video. I want to take it out again. The shell fits really well. It's like a trophy truck. I just wanted something that covers the footprint of this car, because this car's almost as wide as it is long. It's not, maybe not quite, but it's not far off the back, I don't think. Now, if you measure from there to there, I'm not going to do it now because the tape measure's not here, but it's kind of a very square footprint. So trying to find a shell that fits, as it happens that you've got to kind of, I've had to trim those wheel arches. When you go down suspension, you can see that the wheels take on quite a funny angle. They sort of go back, which means they go back into the wheel arch on the shell. It's really weird. It is sitting quite high at the front because I did that deliberately, and the back's a bit saggy now. These springs are really soft, but it's got a lot of movement on there anyway. So yeah, I mean, it's a very good conditioned RC10 GT, and these Traxxas 3.3 motors go straight in, and I actually used the original RC10 GT engine mount as well. It just comes with the engine that you get. Well, you don't get it with the kit, do you? Don't know. I never got one when they were new. I think they do. They come complete, don't they? So, well, the engine mount that you get that sort of L-shaped engine mount it fits these really nicely. It's a roto start as well, so nice and easy. I didn't put a speed meter on it today. Well, not today, it's yesterday, but only because I wasn't too bothered about the speed, because I was more concerned about it leaking, which it did. So anyway, what do you think? Do you think it's quick? I mean, RC10 GTs are, what are they? Late 90s? They come in various different guises, but this is a fairly standard one. It's got an RPM front bumper on. Try and buy one of them now, you'll be spending a fortune. Yeah, let me know what you think. Sounded well. It's a little, yeah. So the tick over was a bit high. It did pop a little bit. I think it was. I did weaken it or made it run a little bit leaner. I'm not sure that was the right thing to do. But it is only single speed. I think I did change, just before we go, I did change the gearing. So I think I did a video on this as well. I put a bigger pinion on it. What, 18? So it's 18 at the front and 64 at the back. That isn't standard. I'm pretty sure that the original gearing for these type of vehicles is a much smaller pinion. Because bear in mind, they're like stadium trucks. So lots of jumps, quick acceleration, and sort of quick turn and back. You know, there's not so much high speed. But it would have been interesting to see how fast it went. I wouldn't have thought it have gone much quicker than 40 something miles an hour. So not quick by any stretch, but good for one of these. And a good job I sort of put some sealant on the air filter, which will need to be cleaned. I might even take the engine down to make sure it's no gravel or grit inside before I take it back out, and then we'll investigate that leak. I don't know what to do yet. Maybe I have to run it with a camera on it to look at it and look back. I don't really know how to, unless I change the tank. Or maybe it is the lid. Maybe the lid isn't pressing hard enough. I don't think so though. Anyway, if you know, let me know. If you've got any feedback on that, that would be useful. What else to look for? Is it something really obvious that I might be missing? That would be good to hear back. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed that. I'm impressed with this car. And another video will be very soon. I don't know whether it'll be this one or another one, but keep watching, subscribe, hit the notification for the next outing. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye for now.